Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Supervisor Messick.
All please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
And then we're going to have Aaron Van Dorn for our invocation today.
Thank you for having me, Seth. Lord God, I ask that you would touch the hearts and the minds of all gathered today. Lord, that we would set aside differences, that we would come together in unity, in love, in truth, that we would listen more than we speak, but would be bold enough to speak that which needs to be heard. Lord, I ask that you would bless every organization, every individual, every leader, every man, woman, and child. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. And so we'll move to the consent agenda. I'm sorry, we're going to do roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez? Supervisor House is absent. Supervisor Fuhr?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford is absent. Supervisor Messick?
Here.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any public comment on the consent agenda? Seeing none.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then we will move to special presentations. We have Joseph Hale of Habitat for Humanity.
Hello, can you, okay, sounds like it's already on. So I appreciate you having me here today to present on some of the projects Habitat for Humanity has done in the community and is continuing to work on going forward. So I'll go ahead and get started. We have obviously some slides up here that kind of show some of the past and present. If I can move to the next one, you okay?
Oh, there you go.
What's that? Sorry. Oh, down here. Okay, perfect. That works. Thank you so much. All right. So Habitat for Humanity has been operating in the Yuba-Sutter area at its capacity since about 2011. A few years ago, we started getting into more multi-family housing developments. But the overall mission of Habitat, for those not familiar with the organization, is to end homelessness and substandard housing. And we do that through a hand-up process. That's working with families to rebuild their lives to become self-sustainable through home ownership, to getting individuals, the care and services they need to be able to maintain an apartment, a place to live, so they can have stability, the rest of their lives. So a few projects we most recently worked on, and I will scroll through this if I can move to the next one here. All right. So we have Prosperity Village was one of the, I think, biggest projects we did in the just in the last couple of years. This project was a multi-unit apartment complex that provided housing for individuals who were previously experiencing homelessness or at risk of homelessness. The site has 61 units of housing. The majority of them are studios, but there was 2 one-bedroom units at the site. And currently this project is at mostly capacity. The only units available are those being renovated through a community development block grant that was through a partnership with Yuba County, which is greatly appreciated. And one of the wonderful things of coming in here today is to kind of show you the progress of the money being used that we work together in the community to bring to community members. Another project a few years before that was our Life Building Center. Back before COVID, back in 2000, I want to say all the way back to 2014, 15, we saw a vast amount of homelessness in the community, and it was becoming very prevalent. A lot of businesses were being affected. There was a vast number of encampments, and there was a lot of fear because of the levee, the flooding, and stuff happening to those individuals. But there wasn't enough services in the area to house them all. So we looked at a process working with the Homeless Consortium and other various groups to be able to bring forward what was the Life Building Center. It started in 2017, and at that time, it was providing a lot of services, basically food. We were providing casework to help individuals be able to get benefits and things that they needed. And then in 2020, we completed the housing portion, which provided 48 beds for individuals experiencing homelessness, 10 beds for people who were needing post-hospitalization. So a lot of times what happens in the community is you'll have individuals who will be released from the hospital. One of the regulations that hospitals run into is they have to have a place for them to go. So we became that place to help coordinate these individuals too, so that hospital beds weren't being taken up that could be used for actual emergency services, that we're able to move a lot of these individuals to the site and help them there. It also became a ability to help, I think, law enforcement work in the community, because one of the things also impacting law enforcement was if you had someone move, you needed a place for them to go. And so we became kind of that thoroughfare. So it became really a coordinated entry site to help the community and help a lot of these individuals better their lives and, get back on track and eventually get into housing. Just last year, we were selected through a partnership with Habitat International to do a program, and that program was it was a Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Rural Rally. It's a work project it was a national effort, and so we went down Pine Street. We helped work on a number of homes on Pine Street, and this was one in particular that we owned, that we remodeled, and as you can see in the pictures, turned out pretty good. And there's some of our great team of volunteers up there. And that was really what this project was about. It was about using people in the community to be able to help rebuild this house. And now this house will become a permanent home for a veteran family in our area. So some really great project. Also, there was about, I want to say, 11 other homes on the street that we were able to provide appliances for, that we were able to repaint their house, fix up some of their siding, and then look at some roofs to see if we could do some repairs on roofs, or work with them in the future to do maybe some roof replacements. So to help really keep up that community. Going forward, previously back in 2016 to 2022, we did a project which was Sierra Vista. We built 36 brand new homes in a new community that were all affordable housing. And all of those homes have since become owned by a number of families in Yuba County. And one of the great things about that project is all those individuals end up becoming a homeowner, and it's not a handout. They own a home, but it's affordable. So a lot of these, homes that we had built in Sierra Vista, which were 4-bedroom homes, 2 baths, we were able to provide that. I think the families were paying between $700 and $800 a month to own the home, which makes them a lot more affordable for families. And we built a park in the community. And from there, we were able to acquire additional funding for a future project. We partnered with Yuba County on our new project, which is the Fernwood development. And that's going to actually double in size. That's going to be 75 new homes. And it'll make 75 new homeowners in Yuba County who would otherwise not be able to own a home. So here in the near future, through hopefully 2028, we'll build out these homes, and you'll have a lot more happy homeowners in your community. So that's going to be a really great project. We also just recently got funded for our innovation housing project. This is a senior site So this will all be for elderly disabled seniors. It's 13 units. It's a smaller site because there's a lot more care that goes into it. And there's going to be people there to help assist and work with these veterans and be able to help provide them services to help keep their stability and help keep their independence. So this is a great project. It'll be 13 units. It was funded just last month through a home key grant. We had some previous funding which helped us leverage that. That was through some partnerships with Yuba County as well. And that allowed us to put in the infrastructure, do the design work, and get it presentable to the community. So we were able to create a project that was award worthy, I like to say. And now that should break ground fully with the development of these new funds in May or June. Oops, went backwards. I'll get this right. All right. Then our last big project that we're doing in Yuba County would be Serenity Village. This is a multifamily housing development. It'll serve families, couples, even individuals. It's 124 units, and it is a tax credit finance project. We are working with people in Sacramento area. There's a company called Mutual Housing. Sorry if I'm a company called Mutual Housing that we partnered with. They have a lot of tax credit experience, which we are also building in this community and building through these projects. So we partnered with them to do this. If you look at the site, one of the things we try to do is whenever we build these large facilities, we want to make them kind of have more of a college campus appeal to them. We think the place where you live kind of matters, how it looks. We want it to fit well in the community and have a great appeal to it. We think that also enhances the families' lives who live there. So this project, if funded through a tax credit source, should be hopefully seeing some steam as far as going forward, hopefully towards the end of the year. And that will be, it has received about $14 million in funding so far. And the tax credit application that we've submitted should help with the balance. So I know I rushed through a lot there. We have a lot of stuff going on, maybe a little too many irons in the fire, but we definitely love doing our projects in the community. And if there's any questions, we'd love to answer them.
Anything from the board?
Yes, through the chair. Fantastic job. You did a unit that is by Walmart, the motel. Did a great job on that. Appreciate your effort, and maybe they should check with you for homeless housing from the state. They seem to have a lot of money, and they just don't do anything. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was an excellent presentation. I did have one question. So do you guys do individual homes for, say, elderly homeowners on a fixed income out in my district? Do you guys do rehabilitation work on homes for people like that?
Yes, that's actually one of our largest projects. Is we have a occupied owner rehabilitation program. We do all the way up from emergency housing assistance, and we even will do something like porches, various things that families need. So everything from painting the exterior, weatherization, to additional work that families may need. So from, like I said, owner-occupied rehab all the way to even rebuilding homes for families in need.
Great, I appreciate it.
Is it still called a brush with kindness?
So yeah, there's 3 stages. The first one is just exterior work. So if someone just needs siding redone, roofing redone, a paint job on their home, they call that a brush with kindness. When you go into the home, it gets a little more in depth. So yeah, so we have just different levels depending on the situation and the need of the family.
Very good. Any public questions or comment? Well, thank you so much, Joseph.
Thank you.
Mary?
Yes, public communication. Any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, we do have one card.
Is it Tony?
Of course, Tony Farley.
Farley from Northview City. Here to thank the Honorable County Administrator for his service, Kevin, the Honorable Jan Bender for his service, the Honorable Seth Fuller for his service, the Honorable John Misk for his service, the Honorable Annie Vasquez for his service, and the Honorable Sheriff for his service, Lynn Aronson, the Honorable Rachel from Media for his service, the Honorable Media guy over there for his service, the Honorable Oscar. Hey Oscar, don't forget Oscar. I'm gonna start Yuba County CERT team. Maybe work response team someday. Hopefully, start up a CERT team. And the Honorable Jennifer over there, the Honorable Probation Officer. Thank you for your service. Don't forget, I'll visit Seth Fuller's Major's tax office on Friday, probably 10 o'clock a.m. Hopefully, between 10 and 5. Visit his office and check out all his Major's educated tax collector. I hope we could do that. So thank you for your service, Yuba County, and thank you for your service, Chairman Seth Fuller, Major's, and you too, Janet Bender.
Thank you, Tony. All right, we'll be moving on to county departments.
Could I?
Oh, of course.
Could I ask Joseph? Joseph, could I ask you one more question? You don't even need to come up here. Could I put you in contact with Margaret Fowler and have you give a presentation on seniors on the go at the Alcove Center? Would that be something you could do? Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, county departments. We have the YSEDC, I believe.
Yes, it's agenda item 68-2026, Yuba-Sutter Economic Development Corporation. Adopt resolution approving comprehensive economic development strategy, 2025 annual performance report, updates of Appendix 1, Public Works Projects, and 2026 annual update to 2025-2030 CDS SEDS report document. Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair Seth Farrer and Board of Supervisors. We're doing things a little bit different. We want to show you the vision as from verified results, and it's our 2026 or 2025 progress update. This presentation will focus on what has been delivered and is grounded in the region's long-term economic goals. So working toward a thriving community built through innovation, which is the creation, adoption, and scaling of products, services, and processes that boost productivity, that drive the growth and enhance competitive advantage of our region. Also grounded through infrastructure, which drives growth through investment in transportation, energy, and digital networks. And this attracts outside private capital, creates jobs, and improves the overall living standard in the region. Economic growth is the primary engine for economic development by increasing the region's total output, which generates higher incomes, reduces poverty, and creates jobs. And then finally, quality of life, which acts as an economic driver by attracting, retaining, and fostering a productive workforce, thereby allowing a competitive advantage to our region. And Yuba-Sutter, by the numbers, the region is growing, but infrastructure and workforce remain key constraints. And the reason infrastructure is a constraint, many sites or projects can't move forward without adequate water, wastewater, transportation, and flood protection. And industrial and housing growth is waiting on infrastructure. Projects like the South Yuba County Regional Water and Wastewater Project, levee upgrades such as the Marysville Ring Project, the site's reservoir, and transportation are designed to remove these barriers and help move us forward. Once infrastructure is in place, private investment will move more quickly. Who said that?
If I can ask you a question real quick. On the new establishments year over year, that's not net, right? That's net.
Over a 10-year period.
Over a 10-year period, not year over year then.
Oh, I'm sorry, 263 year over year, yes.
All right, thank you.
So how do we measure project? And it's from strategy to action. It's measured by outcomes, and we track job investment, readiness, quality of life, and what follows across are the 4 pillars of our region. So local business support. Small businesses remain the backbone of local economy, as shown by the 263. We provide technical assistance to these businesses and capital, which creates business growth and job stability. And this work will strengthen existing employers while attracting new ones. So we had 3,800 businesses that YSEDC assisted. We lent $230,000 and 70 jobs were created as a result of our progress with them. And infrastructure is the foundation. And within the county, there was $115 million on the Marysville Ring Levee project, $102 million with major Caltrans projects for safety and mobility, and $94.5 million on Beale Air Force Base modernization projects. And these projects reduce the risk and unlock development, and it protects prior public investment. There's major projects underway in the area. South Yuba County Regional Water and Wastewater Project, Yuba-Sutter Transit Facility Replacement, more flood protection and transportation corridors, and Sutter Point infrastructure is going through. And these long-term projects are designed to support housing, jobs, and environmental resiliency, and they directly impact our development readiness. And what infrastructure unlocks and why the investment matters is without infrastructure, growth stalls, and with it, private investment follows. There's several examples that I've listed up here, such as the wastewater treatment capacity and conveyance. Once we get that expanded, you'll see substantial growth in South Yuba County area. And we're moving towards that project completion. Funding is always a challenge, but we're getting there. Workforce and talent in our region. There was 13,600 individuals served with 436 jobs placed. And it is showing alignment with employer needs now. And education partnerships are producing national recognition. Yuba College was received a national manufacturing championship. And this shows that the region is moving in the right direction. Quality of life is an economic strategy, and this is why people stay and choose to stay and invest. So housing projects advancing across all levels of income. Arts and culture and tourism attract and draw visitors. Parks and trails and revitalized downtowns, again, follow. And the employers follow talent, and talent follows livability. This in turn will strengthen our long-term investment in the region. So there was 3 Yuba County projects completed last year, totaling a $7.5 million investment in the county. So there was the Garden Avenue Active Transportation, $2.5 million. South Yuba Transportation Improvement Project Study Report, so they can move forward. And storm drain pipe replacement throughout the county. There's 50 public works projects identified by Yuba County, 5 transportation and road, 4 flood protection and climate resiliency, 24 water and wastewater projects, and 3 bike paths pedestrian trail projects. And 6 of these projects are estimated to be completed in this year, in 2026. So Yuba County is really moving forward. There's a lot of inquiries from businesses out of the area that are interested in locating in our region. Last year we had 18 industry inquiries, which could have had a potential investment of $2.46 billion and the potential to create 3,248 jobs. Unfortunately, as you all well know, the primary barrier is our infrastructure capacity. And with your board's commitment to investment in the infrastructure, the county is ripe for improvement and growth. And then just an item of interest, Yuba County has a $1.6 billion leakage in commercial and retail. So the number 1 is electronic shopping and mail order houses, automobile dealerships, grocery stores, and general merchandise stores come to the top in terms of the leakage. So it's quite if we could just get a part of that into our county, it would show a substantial amount of growth. And the SEDS does matter. It reinforces regional coordination and supports the board's decision-making, improves your grant competitiveness, reduces risk, and maximizes the return on public investment. So thank you for listening to our presentation. And if you have any questions, we'd be happy to address those.
Through the chair. You do realize that in 17 years, we doubled our assessed valuation of the county, going from 2.4 billion to 10.4. We've done, in the last 10 years, been the leading growth county in the state per capita. We've built 400 homes a year for the last 11 years. You talk about leakage. We have, I think it's, 4,700 projects in the pipeline right now. 80% of all our expansion has happened below the airport. And I really think that we need to look for a Yuba County business separate from Sutter County. I don't know how many homes you built last year, but I think we outdid you by 10 times. And we're continuing to grow, and we have, 2,700 more projects in the pipeline in building now. And I'd like to see some movement to make an office in Yuba County because we're growing. And we've got a $200 million project that we have under being bid now in South County. which can affect the sewage plants that are dying down there in Wheatland. And the growth is in Yuba County. So I'd like to see about getting an office in a Yuba County business program going, because Sutter County is locked into flood control. So, thank you.
Thank you.
John?
Through the chair, yes, I had a question. Unlike other automobile dealers, if I go to Sutter County and buy a car, doesn't the tax come to Yuba County? Isn't it taxed where you live instead of where you purchased on vehicles? Brenda's coming up. Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question?
So automobile dealers is on here. If obviously all of them are in Sutter County, right? So if I go to Sutter County or even Colusa or wherever and buy a vehicle, doesn't the sales tax come to Yuba County because it's based on where you live rather than where you purchased?
I'm not certain how DMV does that. What this is representing is that every year, or at least the last 12 months, $278 million worth of vehicles were purchased by Yuba County residents outside of Yuba County.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
So all we're trying to show here is there's such potential because of the housing growth, because of the resident growth, that there is, and we're losing those opportunities to other counties.
Yeah. And
If I could, through the chair, I can answer. So on the Bradley Burns, your sales tax, the point of sale, it does stay in the county that the vehicle is purchased in. They ask which county you reside in, obviously, to calculate the tax rate that's applicable. So, for example, when somebody goes to Sutter County, purchases a vehicle, the applicable tax rate in Yuba County is going to be that 8.25% instead of just the base, 7.25%. So we do receive, which ties to our Measure K, 1%. So that 1% Measure K tax does come back to Yuba County, but from the base 7.25%, which the point of sale, the 1% that typically comes to the counties, stays in the county of origin, right, or the city of origin. So we are losing out when people are buying vehicles in other counties on our base sales tax. Luckily, with Measure K, we do receive at least that revenue back in, if that helps.
it does. And my follow-up is then the same thing as with the electronic shopping and mail order. I'm talking like Amazon. We purchase something on Amazon. Where does it get taxed at? Because there's no telling where they come from. I've had three.
Exactly. Yeah. So Amazon in particular, it's very complicated on how the order was fulfilled. But you're right. Most of that base sales tax is not coming to Yuba County. But luckily, we are getting at least the Measure K revenue, because if that tax is collected by Amazon, for example, when a resident here in Yuba County is receiving a package, and we do receive that revenue.
All right.
Anything else?
Nope.
So on the same slide, I don't know that there's a lot you can do to stop the electronic shopping and mail order houses competition-wise. Obviously, that's an industry trend and shift. Automobile dealers, we would put like a giant auto mall in Olivehurst, and that would solve that problem. Grocery stores, is that because people are coming home from working in the Sacramento region and they're just buying their groceries there and then coming up because there wasn't a grocery store prior to holiday in Plumas Lake? And then general merchandise stores, is it because of niche marketing, or is it that you want something very specific that isn't in our area, or is it something else?
So on the two bottom in these top four, I would say that because you have a higher percentage of people that commute to work out of the county, they're probably spending their dollars on the way home, on the way to work, whatever that is.
Right.
So that's important to understand too, is when we become a bedroom community, chances are our dollars are going to cross. Same with, sports and Little League and things like that. Those parents that are commuting don't always get to provide that opportunity locally in our communities, and we see that change.
And then as far as the automobile, just a big auto mall type thing would solve that Okay. And then is there some way to deal with the electronic shopping mail order houses, or is that, no, that's just an industry shift and those are lost dollars?
Well, if we had some fulfillment facilities here, I think that would certainly be helpful, right? There may be an opportunity for that in South County.
And that would be like a Target or an Amazon warehousing type industry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Warehouse store, Home Depot.
All right. And then you had a slide earlier, I think it had over 3,000 businesses assisted. I was one of those businesses. You guys helped with a grant opportunity through Marysville with mine. What is the type of aid and those 3,000 businesses, is that all this year you helped over 33,000?
So yes, that was over the 2 county regions. So
Okay.
most of the data that you're seeing is for the Yuba City MSA combined between Yuba and Sutter County. This is particular just for
Which I appreciate.
which is another 1.2 in Sutter County. So it's bleeding out in a big way from our communities. So the 3,600 that we serve them with business plan writing, financial literacy, marketing. It's any number of things, as well as things like grant work. And we also help nonprofits, which are included in that, QuickBooks training, basic one-on-one writing, et cetera.
All right. Yeah. So 3,600 businesses, I thought was an impressive number. So that's why I was curious. And then the 200 businesses net growth is also impressive. That's why I wanted to be clear. It was net. So we lose businesses all the time. Restaurants pop in, they pop out. Those are net growth.
Net numbers.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you. Any public comment? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
We will be moving to there's an action associated. Do I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And now we'll move to the county administrator.
Yes, which is agenda item 81-2026, County Administrator, adopt resolution ratifying and approving County Administrator's proclamation of a local emergency related to the Yuba Water Agency Colgate facility penstock failure and continuing the existence of the local emergency until its termination.
Yes, good morning, Chair, members of the board. Kevin Mallon, Yuba County Administrator. So the item before you today, I took action last week on February 19th to proclaim a local emergency. And the way the codes are written, the board needs to ratify that proclamation within 7 days for it to continue to be in effect. And then if the board chooses to ratify the proclamation, then within a 60-day period, the board will have to reaffirm that continuing proclamation of a local emergency. I believe the board's well aware of the incident that resulted in the proclamation of a local emergency, but happy to answer any questions the board may have.
You can do it quicker than 7 days. Move to approve.
Yeah.
Second.
Any public comment? All right. All those in favor? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Through the chair, we do have Supervisor Rennick-House that wants to comment.
Very good.
Good morning, board. Good morning, Chairman. Just wanted to comment real quick because I can't be there to vote in person on this. Thank you, Kevin, for acting swiftly and working with the water agency to make sure that the needs of the county are being met. I know it doesn't fit the typical emergency because there's not lives in danger, but this is really going to shape the county in the next 20 years. So thank you for acting swiftly. That's all I have.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mary?
Yes, if you challenge in court the action or decision of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made at any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group. And we do have agenda item 39-2026, Community Development and Services Ordinance, hold a hearing, waive reading, and adopt ordinance adopting the development agreement with Walton, California LLC, Lendo LLC, and the Patrick Laughlin Trust, the RNS Kagura Family Trust, and the David W. Lanza Trust for the property referred to as Ross Ranch, Phase 3, 4, and 5.
Through the chair, Kevin Perkins, Yuba County Community Development. I'm going to give you a little, both the items, this item and the next item are related. So I'm going to give you guys background information in this presentation for both items. And then, I'll try to just give you the meat and potatoes of the terms of the development agreement. So first of all, the Ross Ranch project or subdivision was originally approved in 2005. It's effectively about a 250 acre property that was subdivided into 800 residential lots. At time of its original approval, your board adopted a 20-year development agreement that covered a lot of items that covered a number of items that were in benefit for the county. In addition to the county's development agreement, the owners of the Ross Ranch project entered into a separate mitigation agreement with the Marysville Joint Unified School District. Well, although the county's development agreement was 20 years, there wasn't a time limit on the mitigation agreement with the school district. So that existing agreement, or that agreement made with the school district in 2005 is still active. It provides where the developers will pay additional fees on top of what they're required, the standard fee from the school district. They'll pay additional money per square foot of construction for the single family homes and the multifamily homes that were part of the project. So as I mentioned before, the DA was originally, that the county approved, was originally for a 20-year period. The expiration date was set for October of 2025. Before the project was expired, the applicant applied for a new development agreement to amend the time length of the existing agreement. And so that's what's before you. One thing I do want to mention is since the original approval of the project, the owners, the original ownership group subdivided this into 5 different phases. And then subsequently those phases were sold to different developers. And so that's why we have 2 different development agreements for the same project. So right now, phase 1 will be the next project. Phase 2 is the existing multifamily housing project that Regional Housing constructed in Plumas Lake. They finished their phase 1, which is 50 units, and they still have a phase 2 they're looking at, which is an additional 50 units. And phases 3 through 5 are this project. And so phases 3 through 5 cover 310 units and 170 acres. Just a little refresher for DAs. DAs are effectively a contract between the county and the developer that allows the county to give some concessions in development standards for public benefit. And in this case, staff believes that the threshold for public benefit has been met with the conditions in this DA. And so now I'll jump into what the conditions are in this DA. So first of all, the applicant is requesting to extend the DA for 15 years, or it's a new DA with a 15-year extension. We maintain the same, most of the same conditions in the original DA, but we added additional conditions that weren't in the original DA. And I'm going to go over what those ones are. So first of all, we've added a requirement that developer design, build, and basically construct numerous bike trails throughout the subdivision. That wasn't part of the original approval and the original DA. I do want to give credit to Mike Lee. Mike Lee has done a fantastic job of making sure that bike trails are conditioned in maps in Plumas Lake. And so this is something that would add multiple miles of bike trails throughout phases 3 through 5 of the subdivision. So that's one. The existing roads will have tie-ins to the bike trails, which is nice. Additionally, the owners will be required when they do record the small lot maps, which are the individual lots, will be required to advance fund the Plumas Lake Transportation Impact Fee. 30% of them will be due at final of their map, and the remaining 70 will be due at the final of building permits. Right now, all of those fees are collected at the building permit stage. And so we'll get advanced funding on that, which will help us ultimately extend River Oaks Boulevard north to its ultimate destination of connecting into Arboga Road. Additionally, on this project, we are requiring the property owners to dedicate a secondary access road that will allow us at some point in time to connect the subdivision to Country Club Road. And Country Club is the road that goes to the Plumas Lake golf course. And right now, if you're a resident of Plumas Lake, to get to the golf course, you literally have to drive, as a crow flies, you might be a half a mile away from the golf course, but you have to drive like, I think 5 to 7 miles to get to it. And so in time, this secondary access road will allow for a shorter distance into the subdivision. And lastly, similar to the other development agreements that your board has approved recently, the developer or property owners will be required to pay a $50,000 in lieu fee to the planning department that will go to advanced or long-range planning efforts that the planning department's doing, which is right now we've started the general plan update and the Plumas Lake specific plan update, which aren't cheap, and these fees will help pay that. With that covers what I want to discuss for phase 1 of the project. I'm here to answer phases 3 through 5 of the Ross Ranch DA. I'm here to answer any questions, and I also want you guys to know that the applicant's engineer is here as well if you have questions for them.
No.
So I have a couple questions, I guess. So is it half-acre lots?
No, these lots are anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000 square foot lots. The Ross Ranch subdivision, one thing I didn't discuss, and I apologize for that, is it's a really unique subdivision and probably my favorite subdivision in the county, because it backs up, these lots on 3 through 5 will back up against the Plumas Lake Golf Course, and also the area where Ross Ranch has some natural oak trees and drainages. It's a really nice project. So
so the other acreage is consumed with park area type situations?
It'll be open space because, there's a lot of drainage creeks, and the bike path will go along the drainage creek. So there'll be oak woodlands, oak trees, drainage, bike paths. It's a pretty cool project in that regard.
Excellent. And then as far as timing, because we had an earlier presentation about the fact of being a bedroom community makes us leak billions of dollars, it seems. Is there anything as far as commercial side of things, or no, this is going to be purely residential?
This project is entirely residential development. It is just south of a commercial property. It's maybe it's across the street from a commercial property, and maybe about a half a mile south. If you go south, is where the holiday market will be. So, the addition of 800 new homes is only going to add to shoppers to the grocery store and the other commercial projects that are in the pipeline right now for Plumas Lake.
Okay. And then as far as the schools that you mentioned, we'd had a school presentation, or a comment, I should say, a few meetings ago. It's not part of that issue.
Yes. The comment that was brought up before was for a separate subdivision in the south part of Plumas Lake. The same ownership group of this project does own that subdivision, but it's different school districts.
Okay.
So this project is located at Marysville Joint Unified School District, and then there's an existing mitigation agreement for higher school fees already in place.
Right. And then obviously over time, things have changed. I think prices have probably doubled in 5 years, much less in 15. Is the amount that's going to be for the school mitigation, those numbers are still good for them?
Yes. So how the agreement reads, or typically reads, is they pay whatever the base is at the time of construction, and then they pay an add-on to that base. And so that's how that mitigation.
They are inflation adjusted then.
So, again, to your point, it could have been $3 a foot in 2005, and now it's $8. But, they're going to pay a delta difference on, whatever that school fee is at the time.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
One last thing, I did forget to discuss 2 items. One, that from a CEQA perspective, it's covered from a residential section 15182, which is residential projects consistent with a specific plan with a EIR. And lastly, this did go from a committee perspective. This did go to the Planning Commission in September, and the Planning Commission voted 5-0 to recommend an approval of this project to your board.
Great. And how's the farming of the Planning Commission seat? Have you got a prospect?
That is up to you. You are.
So neither of my 2 guys have had more contact with you?
They since we've last talked, they haven't reached out back to me on that.
All right, I'm going to put it back.
We'll follow up after this meeting.
Awesome. Thank you.
I had a question through the chair, Kevin, because you said it backs up to the golf course. Is there mitigation for there? Because I don't know if you've ever seen me golf, but I hit everything with the fairway.
I don't know the specifics of that. I think it backs up to the end of the driving range. So someone would really have to hit the ball pretty far to hit these houses.
Okay. No chance of me doing that. But I'm just trying to avoid in the future the county getting a lot of calls and complaints. So is there some type of
that I don't think that there's anything. There's a number of other subdivisions on the north end that abut the golf course, and in my 20 years here, I haven't received any complaints from anyone.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So we need a motion, and then we'll do a roll call vote. We need to open the public hearing. The public hearing is hereby opened.
Second.
All right. Was there any public comment I should ask? All right. And now roll call vote.
Close public comment.
And I will close public hearing.
Supervisor Vasquez? Yes. Supervisor House is absent. Supervisor Fuhr?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford is absent. Supervisor Messick?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Go ahead, Kevin.
All right. The next item is a development agreement. Excuse me. It's item, I believe, 38, 2026.
Yes, and I can go ahead and read it for you.
Thank you, Mary.
So it's Community Development and Services Ordinance, hold public hearing, waive reading, and adopt ordinance adopting the development agreement with JS Fund 3 LLC for the property referred to as Ross Ranch Phase 1.
All right, through the chair again, Kevin Perkins, Yuba County Community Development. So I did spend a little bit more time, the last item, to discuss the background of the Ross Ranch project. So I'm going to jump into the specifics of this development agreement between the Jazz Fund and the county for Phase 1 of the Ross Ranch subdivision. Phase 1 covers 395 residential lots over an area of 75 acres. In the same details as terms of school district mitigation agreement, that there was a previous DA that sunsetted, and the applicant applied for a new one. The terms of this DA are really similar to the last one in the sense that they are adding bike paths that didn't exist before in the subdivision, residential tie-ins from the roads to the bike paths, that they are advance funding the Plumas Lake Transportation Impact Fee, 30% at the residential final maps, and then the remaining 70% will be collected at time of building permit. One unique fact item in this DA that will be helpful to the county is right now on Algodon Road. The developer will be required, as they build this out, will be required to do improvements along the frontage of Algodon, which will be like curb gutter sidewalk, masonry wall. However, on that would be on the north side of Algodon. On the south side of Algodon, there was some oversight when the homes were built, and there isn't curb gutter sidewalk on that side. And so the developer has agreed to construct that and design that as part of when they go to do the north side, the south side as well, as long as the county reimburses the cost for the south side of the side of the improvements. And so, there will be a cost savings to the county with the developer doing that. And so that's really helpful on getting fully built out to what a thoroughfare road would look like in Plumas Lake. And lastly, they are required to, one of the terms is, again, the $50,000 in lieu fee that will cover advanced planning within the county. Here to answer any questions, and so is the project's engineer.
Open the public hearing. Any public comment? Any questions from the board? Okay. I assume these guys are connecting to OPUD for wastewater?
Yes, OPUD for wastewater and water in this area.
Okay. And MGAOSD, we said, for school?
Yes, it's the same agreement for the first DA applies to this DA.
And then, since these guys aren't doing commercial or industry, that is something that's going to be part of our Plumas Lake for future developments? Is that when the industry and commercial will be included more?
So there are existing commercial properties in Plumas Lake, but as part of the Plumas Lake specific plan update, we are going to look at the appropriateness of commercial development, where it should be, how much we need, and also if we need to add different types of development, such as industrial and development. So that's something that project's kicked off. I'm guessing it's going to be another year and a half to 2 years before it gets to your board for ultimate approval.
And then I don't want to see us where we've approved this on our left hand, but then our right hand says, no, we needed this instead. We don't have any ideas that what would happen in the Plumas Lake specific plan that would be possibly in conflict with these things today.
No, I don't think there'll be any future conflicts between this project and what comes out of Plumas Lake. Really what we're going to be looking at in the Plumas Lake specific plan is the area just north of this subdivision that hasn't been built out. So there's an area of what people think of Plumas Lake, which is the southern part of Plumas Lake, and then the specific plan actually goes all the way north, almost to McGowan. And, there's an area between the Wheeler Ranch subdivision and this subdivision, Ross Ranch, that hasn't been built out. And that's really where we're going to have to reimagine the land uses and what that should look like in the future. This it should be consistent.
Okay, great. Thank you. Did we get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve. Oh, go ahead. Okay.
All right, I'll close the public hearing and we'll do a roll call vote.
Supervisor Asquez? Supervisor House is absent. Supervisor Freer?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford is absent. Supervisor Messick?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Mary?
Yes, now we have correspondence. We have 3 items. Agenda item 55-2026 received 3 notices from California Fish and Game Commission regarding Lake Tahoe's black bears, proposed 90-day extension of entitled emergency regulations, and approval of threatened species under the California Endangered Species Act. Agenda item 71-2026 received notice from Richard Wilbur Ranch Incorporated regarding Wood Rogers study and investigation. Agenda item 72-2026 received notice from California Wildlife Conservation Board regarding consideration of allocation of grant funds for habitat incentive programs for water birds. Thank you.
And we will move to supervisor reports. Andy?
Okay. All right. We need to look into some of the storage units that are being put up in backyards. I got a complaint today or yesterday about a 2-story storage unit, and the guy says, "Oh, it's 8 feet." Yeah, that's the first story, and kind of disappointed in the fact that the school lets kids out for protesting existing law and standing on top of freeway overpasses. They can't all read or do math. I think the school should look at allowing the children to do that before they learn how to read. So that's about it. Thank you.
So we're going to have the fire safe council meeting Wednesday night, the 25th, at the Loma Rica Lions, Foothill Lions Club in Loma Rica, from, I believe, 5:45 to 7:30. So if anybody wants to get informed on fire safety issues and things, it's going to be more of a discussion thing rather than a meeting. It's usually very informative. I'm going to be there, but I'm going to be late because I have another presentation for HHS to open remarks, and then I'm going to head up there. That's the only thing I can think of. Go ahead.
All right. Supervisor Messick and I did an inspection of the walking trails at Hamilton Grove Sycamore Ranch the other day. They're excellent. So thank you for taking good care of those for us. And I think that we will adjourn in honor of Dan Rittner of our probation department. He recently passed away. And we will recess now for our closed session.
Recording stopped.
Yuba-Sutter.Live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. In Yuba County, there's a legendary diner.
Oh, delicious. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Where the parking lot tells a story. A story as simple as biscuits and gravy.
The food is good. The prices are wonderful. My dad has so many friends here that come here, and it's my dad and mom have known Mary Jane and her dad before Duke.
Duke's Diner on 7th Avenue, home of legendary chili, holiday pies, and generations of local residents preparing tasty, hearty food for generations of local people. Join Mary Jane and her genial associates as they serve meals you'll come back for. Duke's Diner on 7th Avenue, Olivehurst.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
Yuba-Sutter, it's the truth that comes through.